My best friend matched with my husband on Tinder when she showed me his profile complete with photos from our own house and a bio claiming he was newly single and ready to explore. My entire world shattered. But that was just the beginning. What I discovered when I started digging made that initial shock look like nothing. My name is Amanda, and this is the story of how I discovered my husband had been cheating on me through dating apps for our entire 7-year relationship. I met Ryan 8 years ago at a friend's barbecue. He was charming, funny, attentive, everything I'd been looking for. He worked in tech, made good money, and seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me beyond the surface level. "So what do you do when you're not being the life of the party?" he'd asked, sitting next to me on the back deck while everyone else played volleyball. "I'm a graphic designer," I told him. "Mostly freelance work, some corporate clients." "What about you?" "Software engineer." "Boring stuff." "Really? I write code all day." He smiled, "But I like it. It's like solving puzzles." We talked for hours that night about our jobs, our families, our dreams. He told me he'd been single for a year after a bad breakup and was ready to find something real. "I'm tired of games," he said. "I want a real connection, someone I can build a life with." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He seemed sincere, vulnerable even. We started dating immediately. He texted me every day, called every night. We saw each other several times a week. Within 3 months, he told me he loved me. "I know it's fast," he said, "but I've never felt this way before. You're different, Amanda. You're the one." I fell hard. He was everything I wanted. Successful, attractive, emotionally available, or so I thought. After a year of dating, Ryan asked me to move in with him. He had a nice apartment downtown with a view of the city. "It makes sense," he said. "You're here all the time anyway. And think of the money you'll save on rent." I agreed. Moving in together felt like the natural next step. We merged our lives, our stuff, our routines, our future plans. Ryan worked from home a lot, which I thought was great. He had flexibility, could be around more. I worked from home too, but I spent a lot of time at coffee shops or co-working spaces. "I need the change of scenery," I tell him. "Helps my creativity." He seemed to prefer being home. "I'm more productive here," he'd say. "Less distraction." Looking back, I realized he wanted me out of the house. But at the time, I just thought we had different work styles. After 3 years of living together, Ryan proposed. We were on vacation in Hawaii, watching the sunset on the beach. He got down on one knee and asked me to marry him. "You've made me the happiest man alive," he said, tears in his eyes. "I want to spend the rest of my life with you." I said yes without hesitation. We got married 6 months later in a small ceremony with close friends and family. It was perfect. He was perfect, or so I thought. The first few years of marriage were good, really good, I thought. We both worked from home, had a comfortable routine. Ryan would be in his home office most of the day, and I'd work from the living room or go to a coffee shop. We had date nights once a week. We took trips together. We talked about starting a family eventually. Everything seemed normal, happy, stable. But there were things, small things, that didn't quite add up. Things I explained away at the time. Ryan was very protective of his phone. He always kept it face down. He took it with him everywhere, even to the bathroom. He had a passcode that he changed frequently. Work security, he'd explain when I asked. IT department requires it. He spent a lot of time on his phone, even when we were together, just checking work messages. He'd say, quickly switching apps when I got close. He showered a lot, multiple times a day. Sometimes, "I get sweaty sitting at my desk all day," he'd explain. "Or I just feel gross. Need a refresh." He'd leave the house for quick errands frequently, just running to the store, meeting a colleague for coffee, going to the gym, always had a reasonable explanation. Our intimate life decreased over the years. "I'm just tired from work," he'd say. Or "I'm stressed about this project." There was always a reason, but I trusted him. I never thought to question any of it. Why would I? We were married. We'd built a life together. He told me he loved me every day. I was so stupid. 3 months ago, I had lunch with my best friend, Jessica. We met at a cafe downtown, just catching up like we did every few weeks. She seemed nervous, kept fidgeting with her phone. "What's wrong?" I finally asked. "You seem off." "I need to show you something," she said quietly. "And I don't know how to do this without it being awful. Just show me," I said, confused. She pulled out her phone and opened Tinder. I was confused. Jessica had been married for 5 years. Why did she have Tinder? "Mark and I have been having some issues," she explained, seeing my expression. "We're working through it, but Last week, I downloaded this just to see. I wasn't planning to actually meet anyone. I just wanted to feel wanted, you know? It was stupid. Okay, ... I still didn't understand what this had to do with me. And then I saw this profile. She turned her phone toward me. I looked at the screen and felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. It was Ryan, my husband, on Tinder. The photos were recent. I recognized the shirt from one photo. I'd bought it for him last Christmas. Another photo was taken in our living room. I could see a couch in the background. Another was a gym selfie from maybe a month ago. His bio read, Ryan, 34, software engineer, newly single and ready to explore. Looking for someone fun and adventurous. No drama, no strings, just good times. Newly single, I whispered, we're married. I know, Jessica said, and she was crying. I'm so sorry, Amanda. I didn't know what to do. I thought about just telling you without showing you, but I thought you might not believe me. I grabbed her phone and read his bio again and again, trying to make sense of it. How long has his profile been active? I asked. Jessica showed me. His Spotify anthem updated 3 days ago. So he's been on recently 3 days ago? We'd had dinner together 3 days ago. He told me about his day, about a project at work. We'd watched a movie. He'd kissed me goodnight. And he was active on Tinder. What do? I asked Jessica, my voice breaking. I don't know, she said. But whatever you decide, I'm here for you. I went home in a daze. Ryan was in his office on a video call. He waved at me through the glass door, smiled, mouthed, love you. I felt sick. I went to our bedroom and sat on the bed, trying to think. Part of me wanted to barge into his office and confront him immediately. But another part, the smarter part, knew I needed more information first. I grabbed my laptop and created a fake Tinder profile. Used a photo I found on Google of a pretty brunette. Magiapa named Sarah, 28, marketing consultant. I set my age preferences to 30 to 40 and my distance to 5 miles. And I started swiping. It took me about 20 minutes to find him. There he was. Ryan Mitchell, 34, software engineer, newly single. I swiped right on his profile. My hands were shaking. We matched immediately. He messaged me within minutes. Ryan, hey beautiful, how's your day going? I stared at the message. This was my husband. My husband was hitting on who he thought was a stranger on Tinder. I took a deep breath and responded, Sarah, not bad. Just finished work. How about you? Ryan, same here. Work from home. Life, you know? Gets lonely sometimes. Lonely, he was lonely. While I was literally in the next room. Sarah, I totally get that. So you're newly single, what happened? Ryan, long story. Relationship ran its course. We wanted different things. Better to end it amicably than drag it out. You know? Amicably. Our marriage ended amicably, apparently. News to me, Sarah. That's mature of you. How long were you together, Ryan? About 7 years. But honestly, we'd been more like roommates for the last year or so. No spark left. 7 years. Our entire relationship, and we'd been like roommates. We'd had sex 2 weeks ago. We'd gone on a date night last Friday. I wanted to throw up. Sarah, that's too bad. So what are you looking for now? Ryan, honestly, just fun. Nothing serious. I want to enjoy being single for a while, meet new people, have new experiences. You interested? This couldn't be real. This couldn't be my husband, but it was Sarah, maybe. Tell me more about yourself. For the next hour, Sarah and Ryan flirted. He sent her me photos. Some I recognized, some I didn't. He told her about his job, his hobbies, what he was looking for. I'm really attracted to confident women, he wrote. Women who know what they want, and I'm very open-minded, if you know what I mean. He asked for her number. Suggested meeting for drinks that weekend. I know a great place downtown, he wrote. Intimate, good music, strong drinks. We could see where the night takes us. I closed my laptop and cried. That night, after Ryan went to bed, I did something I'd never done before. I went through his phone. He always slept heavily. I waited until I heard him snoring, then carefully took his phone from his nightstand. I knew his passcode. I'd seen him type it enough times, even though he tried to hide it. I opened his phone and my hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. Tinder was there, of course, but so was Bumble and Hinge and something called Field and another called Pure. 5 dating apps. My husband had 5 active dating apps on his phone. I opened Tinder first. He had 147 women he'd matched with while married to me. I scrolled through his conversations. There were dozens. Some recent, some from months ago, some from years ago. One conversation from 2 years ago. Girl, so you're really married. Ryan, separated, waiting for the divorce to finalize. But yeah, technically still married. Girl, that's fine. I'm not looking for anything serious anyway. Ryan, perfect. My place tomorrow night. Wife's out of town for work. My place. Our place. He'd brought women to our home. I kept scrolling, getting more sick with each conversation. Another from last year. Girl, last night was amazing. When can I see you again? Ryan, soon. I travel for work a lot, so my schedule is unpredictable, but I'll definitely hit you up next time I'm in town. Travel for work. Ryan worked from home. He never traveled for work. But apparently, when I went to visit my parents or had a girls' weekend, he told women he was traveling and met up with them. Another conversation from 6 months ago. Girl, I had so much fun at the hotel. You're really good at this. Ryan, years of practice. Same time next week. Girl, can't wait. Should I bring my friend like we talked about? Ryan, absolutely. The more the merrier. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I came back, I forced myself to keep looking. I needed to know everything. I opened Bumble, 63 Machasimulu, conversations, more lies, more women, more evidence of a life I knew nothing about. Hinge, 89 matches field, 112 matches pure. This one I'd never heard of. When I opened it, I understood why. It was for anonymous hookups, no profiles, just photos and location. Meet tonight was the tagline. He had 17 active conversations on Pure. 17 women he was trying to meet up with for anonymous sex. One message from 2 days ago. Ryan, my place in an hour. My wife's asleep. We can use the guest room. Girl, hot. Address. He'd given her our address. While I was asleep in a bedroom, he was planning to bring a stranger into our house. I took screenshots of everything, every app, every conversation, every lie. I uploaded them to a cloud drive he didn't have access to. Then I put his phone back exactly where I found it and went to the guest room. I couldn't sleep next to him. I couldn't even look at him. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I lay in the guest room, going through the screenshots on my own phone, trying to process the magnitude of what I'd discovered. This wasn't a recent thing. This wasn't a momentary lapse in judgment. This was systematic, ongoing, constant. He'd been doing this our entire relationship before we got married, during our engagement, throughout our marriage. Every time I'd been at a coffee shop working, he'd been messaging women on dating apps. Every time I'd visited family, he'd been bringing women to our home. Every work project keeping him busy was him scheduling hookups. Our entire relationship was a lie. When morning came, I heard him get up, shower, go to the kitchen. I heard him making coffee, just like every morning. I got up, walked to the kitchen, and sat at the table. Morning, babe, he said cheerfully. Coffee? We need to talk. Something in my voice made him freeze. About what? About your Tinder profile and your Bumble profile and Hinge and Field and Pure. I watched the color drain from his face. I interrupted. Don't you dare lie to me anymore. I've seen everything. The apps, the conversations, the women, all of it. He put down the coffee mug. Amanda, I can explain. Explain what? Explain the hundreds of matchas the women you brought to our house. The lies about traveling for work. The threesomes you arranged. Explain which part. It's not what you think. I matched with you. I was screaming now. I created a fake profile and you hit on me within minutes. You tried to arrange a date with me while married to me. He sat down heavily. How long have you known? Since yesterday. Jessica found you on Tinder. And when I started digging, I found everything else. Jessica's married? He said stupidly. Really? That's your concern right now? Not that you've been systematically cheating on me for 7 years. It's not cheating. I stood up. Don't you dare try to redefine what this is. You've been meeting women for sex behind my back for our entire relationship. That's cheating. That's exactly what cheating is. You don't understand, then explain it to me. Explain how any of this is okay. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, I have a problem. a sex addiction. I've struggled with it for years. I tried to stop when we got serious, but I couldn't. It's not about you, Amanda. You're amazing. I love you, but I can't control this. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. A sex addiction. That's your excuse. It's not an excuse. It's a disorder. Did you ever get help for this disorder? Go to therapy. Tell me about it. Or did you just keep lying and cheating and putting my health at risk? I was ashamed. You should be ashamed. But not because of an addiction. Because you're a liar and a cheater who's been using me as cover for your secret life. That's not fair. Not fair. You brought women to our house. You arranged threesomes. You told them you were single or divorced or separated. You've been lying about who you are to everyone, including me. I never stopped loving you. Love. You don't know what love is. Love doesn't involve exposing your partner to STDs. Love doesn't involve sneaking women into the house while your wife sleeps. Love doesn't involve having active profiles on 5 different dating apps claiming you're single. Over the next few days, while Ryan stayed at a hotel, I continued investigating. I couldn't help myself. I needed to know the full extent of his betrayal. I contacted a few of the women from his conversations, the ones where he'd given enough information that I could figure out who they were. Most didn't respond, but 3 did. The first one, Katie, said she'd met up with Ryan about a year ago. He told me he was going through a divorce, she wrote. We met a few times at hotels. He seemed like a nice guy. I had no idea he was actually married. I'm so sorry. The second, Lauren, had met him just 3 months ago. We went on several dates, she said. He told me he was single, worked from home, lived alone. I even asked to see his place once and he made up an excuse about renovations. Now I know why. The third one, Melissa, made me cry. I met Ryan 2 years ago on Tinder, she wrote. We dated for about 6 months. He told me he was separated, that his divorce would be final soon. He said we'd move in together once it was finalized. I fell for him. Then he suddenly ghosted me. Just stopped responding. I was devastated. I thought we had something real. She sent me screenshots of their conversations. He'd told her he loved her. He'd made plans with her. He'd talked about their future together. While married to me, I also checked our credit card statements more carefully. Charges at hotels I'd never been to. Romantic restaurants on nights. I thought he was working late. Uber rides to addresses across the city. I contacted our phone company and got records of his texts. Thousands of texts to numbers I didn't recognize at all hours of the day and night. I found a secret email account he used for the dating apps. In it were receipts for premium subscriptions to all 5 apps. He'd been paying extra for unlimited swipes and the ability to see who liked him. The total cost over the years, nearly $3,000 spent on dating apps while married. I filed for divorce immediately. I wasn't going to therapy with him. I wasn't going to try to work it out. There was nothing to work out. Ryan tried to fight it at first. He wanted to get help and save our marriage. He claimed he had a sex addiction and needed treatment, that I was abandoning him during a medical crisis. My lawyer shut that down quickly. You can't claim addiction as an excuse for systematic deception, she said in one meeting. And even if it is an addiction, he never disclosed it, never sought treatment, and actively hid it throughout your relationship. That's not a medical issue. That's a character issue. We had screenshots, witness statements from the women he dated, credit card records, phone records. The evidence was overwhelming. Ryan wanted to keep the apartment. I said no. I wanted it sold and the proceeds split. He wanted to split assets 50-50ths. My lawyer argued for 70-30ths in my favor based on his infidelity and the funds he'd spent on his affairs. He used marital assets to finance these relationships, she argued in court. Hotels, dinners, subscriptions to dating apps. That money belongs to my client. The judge agreed. In the end, I got 65% of our assets, including the equity in our apartment. Ryan got his retirement account and his guilt. The whole process took 4 months. 4 months of lawyers, court dates, and reliving every lie. But finally, it was over. I was free. That was 6 months ago. I've been rebuilding my life since then. I got tested for STDs. Thank God everything came back negative. But the fact that I had to get tested at all, that he'd put my health at risk for years, still makes me furious. I moved to a new apartment, fresh start, new space, no memories of him. I told my family and friends everything. Some were shocked. Some had suspected something was off. My mom cried. My dad wanted to fly down and confront Ryan himself. He's not worth it, I told him. He's not worth any more of our time or energy. I went to therapy to process everything. The betrayal, yes, but also the humiliation. The feeling of being made a fool. The realization that while I thought I was building a life with someone, he was living an entirely separate life behind my back. It's not your fault. My therapist kept saying, you trusted your partner. That's not naive. That's normal. He's the one who violated that trust. Intellectually, I knew she was right. But emotionally, I felt stupid. How had I not seen it? Were there signs I missed? Should I have been more suspicious? You can't live your life constantly suspicious of everyone, my therapist said. That's not healthy either. He was very good at lying. This says something about him, not about you. I deleted all my social media for a while. Too many photos of us together. Too many memories that were now tainted. Too many mutual friends asking what happened. Eventually, I recreated my profiles, posted a simple statement. Ryan and I are divorced. I won't be discussing the details publicly. Thank you for your understanding. Some people reached out privately. Some shared their own stories of infidelity. It helped to know I wasn't alone. Jessica was incredible through all of it. She felt guilty for showing me the profile, like she'd destroyed my marriage. You didn't destroy anything, I told her. He did. You just showed me the truth. I'm grateful, even if it hurt. Dating again seems impossible. How do you trust someone new when the person you trusted most betrayed you so completely? But I'm trying. Slowly, I joined a support group for people who've experienced infidelity. Hearing other stories helps. Knowing I'm not alone in this helps. I ran into Ryan once, about 3 months after the divorce, at a grocery store. He looked terrible, tired, older somehow. Amanda, he said, can we talk? No. Please. I just want to apologize properly. You can't. There's no apology that makes what you did okay. You spent 7 years lying to me. You've put my health at risk. You brought other women into our home. You told them you were single while married to me. There's no apology for that. I'm in therapy now, he said. Really working on my issues. I want you to know that. Good for you. But that doesn't change anything. That doesn't give me back 7 years of my life. That doesn't undo the lies. I did love you. No, you didn't. You loved having me as cover. You loved having someone at home while you lived your secret life. That's not love. I walked away. I haven't seen him since. I heard through mutual friends that he's still on the dating apps. Sex addiction treatment apparently didn't include stopping the behavior that was the problem. Not surprising. As for me, I'm doing okay. Some days are harder than others. Some days I'm angry. Some days I'm sad. Some days I'm just numb. But I'm here. I survived. And I'm building a new life. A real life based on truth instead of lies. I don't know if I'll ever fully trust again. I don't know if I'll ever be able to take someone at their word without that little voice in the back of my head asking, but what if they're lying? That's what Ryan took from me. Not just 7 years of my life, but my ability to trust completely. But I'm working on it one day at a time, one therapy session at a time, one step forward at a time. And someday, maybe I'll be able to look back on this as just a painful chapter instead of the defining moment of my life. If your best friend found your partner on a dating app, would you want them to tell you immediately or investigate first? And if you discovered your partner had been active on multiple dating apps throughout your entire relationship, could you ever forgive them? Or is that a betrayal too deep to come back from? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.